we lost everything. We lost everything. We literally, when we came to Bombay, we had a little bit of money that we had saved up by working in Canada and one suitcase. One suitcase which had a little bit of my clothes, my mom's clothes, and my sister's clothes.
Hi, Gurfateh. This is Nirali. Welcome to India today. Firstly, thank you for
Thank,
taking your time out and being here or with us for a chat.
thank you, thank you so much.
Yeah. I cannot begin this conversation without congratulating you on the success of class. A huge congratulations for all the love that you are receiving for the series.
Thank you so much. I'm glad. I'm glad people are still watching it and liking it. I think it's been a month. We're still number one, which is great. Thank you.
Touch wood. But tell me, when you were shooting for class, did you anticipate the response that the series is getting post the release on Netflix?
We anticipated a response for sure. We knew that it will be a series that will be talked about, that will work. It, I mean, we knew that it'll work. We didn't know that people will love it or hate it. There was no in between. We knew that. But I'm glad people are liking it. Firstly, I'm glad we are able to sort of steer clear of the. I mean, there is comparison with Elite and all that stuff, but I think people are still appreciating that this adaptation, and obviously going forward, we will obviously start steering clear from the original story of what they have done, and maybe we'll try to do different things also. But yeah, it's great. It's great. I mean, every now and then I meet, everywhere I go, I meet someone or the other who comes up to me and they talk about class and they just they're appreciating me, the show, other actors, and more often than not, there's always like good things to say. So I'm very happy.
Yeah. And let me know what was your family's reaction when they saw a few episodes of the show?
Uh, my mom couldn't watch it. I think she only watched my scenes. She couldn't watch the whole show. But I mean, my mom's pretty open-minded. She knows that like I was very clear with her. I told her that listen, I'm I like acting and I'm in this because I want to do everything. I want to do shows like Class, films like Guilty. I want to do the heroic Bollywood films also, and I also want to do uh, a homosexual love story. I want to do all sorts of stuff. So I mean, she's become open-minded in terms of that कि अच्छा हाँ ठीक है ये तो करेगा ये shows ऐसी करेगा फिल्में ऐसी करेगा कोई
Yeah.
I was like if you don't want to watch it don't watch it
True.
because like my job as an actor is to do and sort of show a mirror to what's happening in society and everything that happens out in the world. I will try to portray it on screen, and hopefully I'll come across stories that also do the same. Uh, so she appreciates that, and I mean she loved it. Whatever she saw, she really liked it. But obviously, parents have a different outlook
True.
on a show like Class. But I mean, they're okay with their kids watching it. I guess alone. I don't think Indian society सब इकट्ठे बैठ के देखेंगे ये show. But
Yeah.
We are grown up enough to know that okay, everyone will watch it, but like separately.
Agreed, completely agree. But since we are talking about, the love that you are receiving for your character and class, tell me the one class apart response or a feedback that you have received from an actor from the industry.
Actors, I Tapsi ma'am, she dropped me a message. I believe she knows my sister somehow, and
Yeah.
I met her once or twice here, but she never had my number. There was absolutely zero contact. And this one fine day, she texted my sister and she asked for my number, and I got this really nice, sweet message from her, which which was filled with so much appreciation and so much love. And it's so rare that actors, especially like renowned, like established actors, sort of reaching out to a new actor and just telling them that they like their work. It's very rare, and especially in this time and age, we're all so busy. No one takes out the time to sort of reach out to someone. I was blown away. I texted her the same. I was like, thank you so much. That you don't know what this means because we as new actors we're always looking for uh, another reason to sort of keep going. because it does get hard. And until and unless you don't blow up, it does get hard. You always question, are you good? Are you really good? Are people just saying it? Yeah, actually अच्छा लग रहा है कि नहीं लग रहा? But coming from someone like her, it's genuine because she doesn't need to say it if it's not. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, we had a little chat of, I told her that, love to work with you. She was like, yes, someday for sure.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really appreciative. That sort of really touched my heart.
That was, I believe that was a very organic message that came from her
Yeah,
to you. That's
yeah,
appreciated.
completely.
Absolutely. But now let me take you back to the time you were offered this show. Tell me the one thing or a few things that attracted to you about this subject.
One, the director. I'm, I mean, being an outsider, I know that I have to prove myself properly every now and then to sort of get more work, and
Mm.
only good work will lead to more work. So I'm always looking out for good directors who I can trust, and who can trust me, obviously, because when you're a new actor, you don't have so much freedom on set to sort of experiment and do certain things unless you find the right kind of person and right kind of film. But more often than not, you really have to go with the instinct of the director and with his storytelling and everything else, because obviously it's a director's medium. So, and I am that kind of an actor who, like, a director will sort of put me in a boundary and I'll stay within that boundary and try to experiment and do whatever I can, which seems organic. So, yeah, one was definitely director, Mr. Osham Aluwalia. He's brilliant, and I think after working with him, I would say that he's a genius. Before that, I knew that he's a great director, but you know, uh, the amount of work and the amount of understanding he has of cinema and what he's tried to do with these 11 new people, it's incredible. Putting the show together, the world that he created, the visuals, the way it's shot, uh, brilliant. Also, because he was this director, and then Elite was a very commercial story, right? Elite is
Yeah,
a very uh, Elite as a show is something that an Oshum Aluwalia will never do. It's
true.
not his world. But I loved it because I was like, okay, there's this commercial story and there's this really intelligent, intellectual, sort of like, you know, arty, heavy cinema
Personality.
director. Yeah, and he's going to sort of blend the two worlds together, and
Mm.
what we'll get out of this is going to be very interesting. So that, and obviously my character, because like it's so far away from me, it's so different. uh,
Mm.
and I, coming from the sort of I mean, us living in Bombay, in modern cities, the way we are, the way we walk, the way we talk is so different.
True.
And every time I go out, I meet a director or producer, they will only offer me a certain kind of role more often than not. There's only going to be very few people who will sort of trust me or trust a new actor with a completely opposite offbeat role, which was Niru. And which is why I wanted to do it, because I was like, okay, if I do this, then I have something to show to other directors that, listen, this is me, but I can also play this. I've
Yeah.
played this earlier, and there's like a range, and you put me within whatever situation, and I'll sort of bring myself up to it. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But also, like you mentioned, that you are very different from your character. But when actors work on certain characters, there is some sort of relatability factor that connects them with their character. Did you have this at least one relatability factor that you could find in your character for class?
a relatability factor in this would be that I think Niru as a person doesn't mean bad,
Mm.
but he just gets caught up in situations, his own mind, meaning to do well, but ending up just being wronged. So I'd like to believe I'm that person
Yeah,
because I mean I am that clumsy, not clumsy, but
yeah,
I am that little bit of a confused personality which sort of gets caught between situations sometimes.
mm,
So that being one, and second, I think the father's aspect. You know, uh, I think for Niru, his father was someone who he cared about, but he was never really there. But there, it was a very this thing he wanted to sort of uh, there was a very love hate sort of a relationship, but still there was there was so much love.
Respect. Yeah.
I think I think that's the same with my life also. Like I've never been around my father too much, and I've lived away, barely speak to him. But obviously there's always love, and
Yeah.
if things weren't the way they were, then of course things would have been different. But I think that loss, love and loss at the same time of that father figure is what related me to Neeru.
Yeah. And also, people have seen the show. It's been a month since its release. Tell me
Yeah,
one unknown anecdote or say unknown fact about this class that people are still not aware about. Something that people would are curious to know.
unknown.
Yeah.
So
Something, some
the unknown,
anecdote.
I think something would be that we have done a lot of takes here for this show.
Hmm.
So when we started shooting, um, we'd just come out of lockdown,
Yeah.
and I before that my only experience of properly shooting long length format was Guilty, which
Right.
we shot the whole film in like 35 days.
Yeah.
And here we were on class shooting, and every day we were shooting barely a page,
Hmm.
not even a scene, and it was so chaotic one, and it was 30, 40, 40 takes every scene, every shot. And for a few days I was just thinking कि मैं ही हूँ क्या कि lockdown,
Yeah.
did I get a bit rusty, what's happening, why are there so many takes, and am I the problem? But then we later realized, so I think so we've shot this show on a specific lens that's only available in Thailand, and there are only very few number of these lenses all around the world. So that needs to, even if you have to, even a little setting that goes off, then it has to go back there and recalibrate it and then come again to shoot. So those specific lenses had a bit of a focus issue, and that needed to be fixed. But because of COVID and all, you couldn't go back to Thailand.
True.
So we continued shooting with those little bit off lenses, and
Yeah.
to get the focus right, we would have to do a 30, 40 takes so that we get one or two takes which have decent focus, so there's something to edit with.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most interesting thing, because I literally shot my whole part with those lenses,
Hmm.
and then there was a break, and then Thailand opened, and then they went back, the lenses came back, and then everything happened much quicker. And then I was telling my producers that why did you have to do this with me? Like why was I the one who had to give 40 takes? But
True.
I guess everyone around that time was, but it was a very interesting experience, because when you're doing a shot, when you're doing a scene, and you have to do it 40 different ways,
Hmm.
and try to stay real, try to stay consistent, still try to be as real as possible and organic. I think that's the challenge, and that's what I enjoyed it the most.
Yeah, that's why I guess you might have become more patient as well because it was a test of your patience too. I believe.
More than patience, I think we started having fun.
Yeah.
If Oshim would say also कि हो गया,
Hmm.
you would also be like, अरे एक और ले लेते ना, क्यों मतलब
हाँ.
एक और लेते ना, क्यों ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हो गया,
Hmm.
like एक और कर लेते ऐसे ही.
एक और
And
कर.
then
You
yeah, और
started
वो गलती
enjoying
से
the
if he would have
process.
yeah, and if by mistake he would agree also, okay, let's do one more, and that we knew that now one more will not be one more, that will be five more.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
it was amazing.
yeah, that's true. But class, when we talk about the show, it sheds light on this divide between rich and poor. And when we talk about our industry, there's this debate that everyone has been talking about since the last couple of few years. That is of an insider and of an outsider. As someone who's not from the industry, I want to know what have been the hardships that you have had to go through to reach the position where you are today in the industry.
I mean, I think the hardships, uh, as far as the audience is concerned,
Mm.
that is to be relatable. You know, I don't come from a family or a name that the audience that's going to possibly watch me and has watched me is familiar with.
Yeah.
So, to get that following, to get that excitement, that doesn't come with an outsider's name. It comes with a specific surname. Unfortunately, I don't have that. But then again, I don't want to dwell over it also, because that's a part of life. Some people get something, some people don't. Uh, as far as the industry is concerned, I think the industry has been very welcoming. They've been
Mm.
very kind. I've gotten to know the best of the best people uh, around uh, Bollywood, and they've appreciated me, liked my work, and I'm in touch with bunch of people to sort of do things and projects in the future, and hopefully they'll happen sooner. And yeah, I think nepotism, non-nepotism doesn't really matter. It's just that we just get we just have a little bit of a longer struggle in the beginning,
Yeah.
because you have to sort of be known, have a foot in the door, audition. I think our struggle is to meet the casting directors first and then try and score some auditions. Their struggle is to sort of meet producers, and but eventually at the end of the day, all said and done, everything's in the hand of the audiences. So nepotism, non-nepotism depends on the audiences. They watch their films, nepotism will exist. They don't watch their films, nepotism will probably not exist, because everything then comes down to the same thing. Uh, but I don't think there's anything right or wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had family connections, I would definitely use them.
I mean, that to each to its own.
Yeah, to each to its own, but that's true. मतलब जिसके
Hmm.
पास अगर आपके पास कोई है तरीका कुछ आसानी से करने का, तो क्यों नहीं करेंगे आप?
Correct. Absolutely. But also, before this interview, I read one of your interviews where you mentioned about a phase in your life when you stayed in Canada and you did odd jobs to survive over there.
Yeah.
Can you shed some light on that and the one thing that phase has taught you?
Uh, so I mean, that was a very unexpected phase because I just finished school,
Yeah.
and all my friends had moved to different countries, different places, studying college, and there were plans that okay, someone will join their father's business, mother's business, others will start doing jobs, this, that, business, marketing, media. And here I was where I landed up in Canada to join college, but could never make the money, could never make the fee. Uh, we had thought that we'll sort of work, me, my mom, my sister, that's the family I have. And we'll sort of work our way up on money and then, make for fees. But it's just, I guess we didn't realize how hard that was going to be.
Yeah.
So obviously we didn't end up joining college, and I started working. My mom was working, my sister was working. So the beauty of that whole thing is that when you're doing it, you don't feel bad.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. You don't understand how hard it is,
Mhm.
because there is no choice.
Yeah.
There is no choice. That it was not. I know that a lot of people do jobs when they go to the US or anything, but or Canada or whatever. But
Mm.
for me, it was not just doing a job. It was surviving. It was making rent. It was to be able to buy a decent amount of groceries so that we all three of us can feed each other. Uh, so I think when you're in that situation, you don't realize how hard it is. And the only thing that taught me is at that time we lost everything. We lost everything. We literally, when we came to Bombay, we had a little bit of money that we had saved up by working in Canada, and one suitcase which had a little bit of my clothes, my mom's clothes, and my sister's clothes. We came to Bombay, and that's when we started uh, acting,
Mm.
and it's sort of building up. And I used to always say that अगर कुछ नहीं भी हुआ,
Mm.
even if it doesn't work out, it's fine, because what's there to lose?
Mm.
We don't have anything, you know. इससे बुरा क्या ही होगा?
Mm.
So I think that mentality really helped, because there was no fear. There was no fear of rejection. There was no fear of judgment. There was no fear of anything, because me and my sister started auditioning and all that stuff, and we were very clear. We were like, we're going to do every job we get, be it TV, be it ads. Uh, अगर फिल्में मिल गई तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है.
Mm.
And catalogs, modeling, and we were like, let's just try, and maybe we'll make something better of ourselves. And from that's how it started. I think the whole Canada exercise just gave me that courage and that will to work hard as so much that Bombay didn't tire me out.
Yeah.
Bombay didn't tire me out. I think I have worked and gone for so many auditions,
Mhm.
moved around Bombay so much, met so many people, and without ever questioning anything. And I never got tired. And now that I'm here, now there's a little bit of a sense of not relief, but
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a sense of
Satisfaction.
this feeling that okay, something has happened, you know. But now the fear has kicked in.
Yeah.
Now it's like, acha, oh shit, I have something to lose now. You know, now I need to prove myself. Earlier I didn't. So I think that's what I learned.
But like you talked about the whole unexpected phase that you had in Canada. I must say the times that you had have made you stronger, and God has been kind for
100%.
you because of that.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. But also, the things are rolling well for you on the work front. Last year, you had a big theatrical release with Brahmastra. Tell me, how
Yeah.
was the experience working on that film, and one memory that is going to stay with you forever?
It was great because like Ranveer Kapoor is my favorite actor.
Mhm.
And I don't think there's a better actor in India, in the mainstream cinema especially, uh, apart from Ranveer. And when I got on Brahmastra, I was 21,
Yeah.
which was 6 years before. And I think the best experience and the most intimidating experience of my life will be that because I was on this set with all
Mhm.
these who's and who's of Bollywood,
Yeah.
uh, the dream director Ayan Mukherjee, actors Ranveer, Alia, Mr. Bachchan, and the whole other lot.
Yeah.
And I think what me being there, I learned is one, work ethic. I saw these people work and I picked up things from it because they were always on time, they were always on set, they were always so involved in everything that is happening, which is so inspiring, you know. And for a new actor to see that, you you know that okay, if 10 years later I become a big actor, then I want to be like this, you know. I want to be this hardworking, I want to be this focused, and hopefully this talented.
Mm.
And one was that, and second, it was my foot in the door. It
Yeah.
was my foot in the door. I remember when I got Brahmastra, I was so double-minded. I asked my sister that, you know, but it's not. I probably won't even be seen, and
Mm.
I don't know what the role is. Uh, and I was like, it's it's all these actors ka movie. Uh, will it materialize into something or not? And my sister just said one thing. She was like, you know, earlier to we you wanted to do movies and we had no chance but to. Now you're getting a movie which is Brahmastra with Dharma, Ayan Mukherjee directing, Ranveer Kapoor is in it. She was like, what better things do you want? Like, just do it. And if you're good, they'll notice you. And
Mm.
that's exactly what happened. You know, who knew? Like, 2 years into shooting Brahmastra, I'll get guilty and guilty will come out first. So I think, thank God, if I would have said no or if I would have doubted myself even more, I would have probably never been here. And Karan Johar, Apurva sir, anyone at Dharma would have never known who this person is. So yeah, thank God.
Yeah, thank God, because whatever happens, happens for good.
That's true. That's true.
But as we speak, you have another big project coming up, that is Bedhadak. People are wanting to know when the film goes on close. What's the current development? Something that you can share.
Even I want to know, but no, it'll
Yeah.
happen. It'll happen in a while. We all have. Laksh is working on something presently. I am also working on something presently. So we need to finish those commitments and eventually Vedarak is always there. You know, Vedarak will happen in the right time, in the right environment. Uh, this is not it. And we're just waiting to see and let things get better. And yeah, films are always on the card. There's not just Vedarak, there's other stuff also. And hopefully, hopefully, Tony, actually 200%. By the end of this year, there should be more stuff which will be bigger, better, and yeah,
Yeah. And we will be eagerly waiting for that announcement.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't also.
Wait, yeah. But thank you so much, Gurfateh, for doing this interview. It was a pleasure,
Thank you.
having a conversation with you, getting some insights on your latest hit show, something about your life and your upcoming projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nirali.